As for Luo Su, he too spat out a mouthful of blood and was forced back several zhang before crashing to the ground. He glared fixedly at Wang Lin, eyes brimming with killing intent. Yin Lazy stepped in to separate the two without taking sides. Yet the sight of Wang Lin coughing up blood made a flicker of the extreme realm flash in Qing Shui's eyes. He is not someone you are qualified to kill, Qi Shui said calmly. You don't have that right. As the extreme realm erupted, the world changed color. A biting chill instantly swept the surroundings. That icy aura radiated an overwhelming force. Every ancient monster seated on the meditation cushions changed expression dramatically. It was the first time they had ever felt the full power of immortal monarch Qing Shui's most formidable divine ability. And not just them, every cultivator nearby also turned pale in an instant. Stop. Yin Lazy leapt to his feet, but he was too late. Luo Su felt an unstoppable force invade his body in the blink of an eye. All he saw was a flash of red, as if a crimson bolt of lightning had pierced through him. Then came the sound of his essence spirit collapsing within. The sound echoed in his ears, and with it came a wave of unimaginable pain, tearing through his body like a storm. Luo Su's essence spirit had no chance to resist. Under the strike of that red lightning, it shattered instantly, breaking into countless fragments that surged into his physical body. In that same moment, blood sprayed from his mouth like mist. He struggled to turn and see who had killed him, but he only managed to move halfway before his eyes went dim. With a dull thud, he collapsed to the ground. Dead. A flash of red light flickered over his corpse. The crimson glow, carrying the remnants of Luo Su's shattered essence spirit, returned into Qing Shui's body. His complexion grew slightly more rosy. Silence. The whole area went deathly quiet. The suddenness of it all left everyone around gasping, minds stunned as they stared at the unfathomable scene before them. Qi Shui. Yin Lazy's face twisted with fury as he locked his gaze onto Qi Shui, seething with rage. You made Sumu cough blood. I took this man's life in return, Qi Shui replied calmly. I didn't show the slightest bias just now, Yin Lazy said, his voice low and grim. Qi Shui, if you don't give me an explanation for this, I swear I'll abandon the immortal conferment matter and fight you here and now. It was merely a slip of the hand. If it's a fight you want, then fight we shall. A flash of red lit Qing Shui's right eye. Ever since absorbing the heavenly tribulation, his extreme realm had begun to recover, and the temperament of his past was beginning to resurface. To kill, he needed no reason. If one must exist, it was his fierce protectiveness. The grace of his master was something he could never repay. Though his master had joked in the past, Qi Shui now took every word seriously. In his heart, Sumu was his junior brother. As long as he was around, no one would be allowed to bully Sumu. Besides, the murderous intent in Luo Su's eyes had been crystal clear to Qi Shui. Someone like that had to die. Wang Lin was silent. He looked at Qi Shui and said respectfully, "Thank you, senior brother." The moment those words left his mouth, the silence shattered into a storm. Senior brother? Sumu is immortal monarch Qing Shui's junior. This is unbelievable. I never would have guessed they were from the same sect. Rumor has it that immortal monarch Qing Shui's master was immortal emperor Bai Fan. That means Sumu is Bai Fan's disciple? No wonder Sumu's been so arrogant all these years. His senior brother is immortal monarch Qi Shui. Humph. Without Qi Shui, he'd be nothing. Su Ting's face darkened. He licked his lips, eyes fixed on Wang Lin. 1,000 thoughts raced through his mind, but in the end, he glanced at Qin Shui with deep wariness and made his decision. As for the six-fingered cultivator and the big-headed boy, both froze for a moment, frowning as their own thoughts swirled. Shi Zifeng's mouth dropped open. She stared at Wang Lin and Qi Shui in disbelief. A mix of joy and quiet sorrow rose in her heart. With my status, there's likely no future for us. The honored lord is actually immortal emperor Bai Fan's disciple. Junior brother to immortal monarch Qi Shui? Shen Gonghu inhaled sharply. His eyes lit with renewed fanaticism, this time even stronger than before. As his understanding of Wang Lin deepened, so too did his fervor, now seeming eternal. Zhang Konglai stood dazed, watching everything unfold. A resolution formed in his heart. As for Nan Gong'an, he let out a bitter smile and muttered to himself, so Sumu and immortal monarch Qi Shui are from the same sect. I'd better get closer to him. It'll definitely benefit me in the future. And not just them, even the ancient monsters on the meditation cushions had glints in their eyes, clearly shocked by this revelation. Only the blood god remained expressionless, a cold smirk curling on his lips. The murmuring voices around reached Yin Lazy's ears. He looked at Qi Shui, fell silent for a moment, then burst out laughing. Since it was a mistake on the monarch's part, let's leave it at that. I only hope immortal monarch Qi Shui will remember that we cultivators walk a hard path, please. No more such accidents. Qing Shui closed his eyes, entering a meditative state without speaking. Yin Lazy sighed inwardly. Qing Shui was the one he had invited to break the seal. Although Qing Shui's cultivation had not fully recovered, Yin Lazy had observed cautiously and seemed to sense a hidden power within him. This power wasn't from the extreme realm, but it still gave him a sense of unease. He was reluctant to jeopardize their relationship over trivial matters. Most importantly, even the senior he respected greatly, the one who had taken in the Moonbeast, once said not to provoke Qing Shui easily. This person, even by fan back then, had to take on disciples to appease him rather than force him into submission. Russell, too arrogant. If he dies, so be it. What's truly regrettable is his mastery of divine sense art. Yin Lazy's gaze fell on Wang Lin, his thoughts silent. Sumu must possess a powerful protective primordial spirit treasure. Perhaps it was gifted by Qing Shui. Sumu, qualified. Yin Lazy's voice was calm. With Russell's death, the first trial of heaven and earth was taken over by someone else at Yin Lazy's summons. The new guardian, possibly shaken by Russell's matter, took charge of the remaining trials. Of the 325 participants, 196 remained, and the rest vanished into the teleportation array, being sent out. Second trial, earthly trial. Yin Lazy raised his right hand, performing a gesture that pressed down toward the Thunderpool Plaza below. Immediately, a phantom-like fingertip imprint formed in his hand, crashing down onto the plaza with a tremendous boom. As the imprint landed, the entire Thousand Zhang Plaza erupted, thunder roaring fiercely as countless blue lightning bolts flashed and danced, transforming the area into a true thunderpool. The lightning flickered like silver snakes, and as they swirled together, they suddenly spread outward. In the very center of the plaza, a 3-zhang square of empty space appeared. Endure for 15 breaths to pass. Anyone else is disqualified. The roar of the thunder spirit echoed through the lightning, and an illusory form of a thunder spirit, composed of countless bolts of lightning, took shape outside the 3-zhang area. As it moved, it emitted a suffocating aura. Around them, the cultivators' gazes turned to Wang Lin. In the previous trial, Wang Lin had been the center of attention. Now, nearly all the cultivators were eager to see how long Su Mu would last in the second trial. Even some renowned ancient monsters were paying attention. The might of the thunder spirit in the thunderpool is not something an ordinary person can withstand. Sumu will last at most 20 breaths. After all, even Thunder Immortal Palace emissaries who have cultivated thunder techniques rarely last beyond 20 breaths under this spirit's power. I've heard that the thunder pool of the Thunder Immortal Palace is one of the trials for their emissary titles. The emissaries are ranked into 4 tiers, 20 breaths for the 4th tier, 80 breaths for the 1st tier, and over 100 breaths grants the title of Inner Hall Emissary. I wonder how long Sumu will last. I'm quite curious. This Thunder Pool trial tests real cultivation. I don't think Sumu will manage a miracle. Personally, I'm more interested in Su Ting from Donglin Star. The surrounding cultivators whispered among themselves. Shi Zifeng pursed her lips, watching Wang Lin in the crowd, then glancing at the Thunderpool Plaza. Concern rose in her heart. She touched her storage pouch, hesitated for a long while, then, with a clenched jaw, disregarded the red blush spreading across her face. She leapt into the air like a colorful butterfly, flying toward the group of participants in the title contest. Already a beautiful woman, her cheeks flushed even redder as she hurried toward Wang Lin. Upon reaching him, she lowered her head, took out a cyan jade slip from her pouch, and softly said, "This is for you." She placed the jade slip in Wang Lin's hand, her face burning as she quickly flew back. Upon returning, she could hear her heart pounding in her chest, faster and faster, so much so that when she returned to her seat, she immediately lowered her head, her mind blank. The patriarch of the Xiang family, watching this scene, sighed deeply, his eyes revealing a complex expression. Enter the Thunderpool. Yin Lazy's voice resounded through the heavens and earth, turning into a deafening roar that further intensified the fluctuations of the Thunderpool. In an instant, the 3-zhang empty space at the center of the plaza was filled with lightning, and in mere moments, the entire 1000-zhang plaza had transformed into a true Thunderpool. The waves of lightning composed of electric flashes glittered, creating an oppressive atmosphere that made most cultivators' scalps tingle with fear. Especially the snake-like thunder spirit, which occasionally formed and released thunderous roars as it swam through the pool. Su Ting scoffed, and was the first to approach the thunder pool. The moment his feet touched the pool, arcs of lightning shot up from his feet, enveloping his body in an instant. He shuddered, took a deep breath, and walked 5 steps forward before sitting cross-legged. After him, Xun'er stepped forward. His cultivation was closely tied to thunder, and he often practiced in places filled with lightning in his early years. Even this thunder pool was not his first time entering. At this moment, he was calm, sitting cross-legged after entering the pool. Soon after, others stepped into the thunder pool and sat around in a circle. However, a few of them, whose cultivation was insufficient, were immediately shaken violently the moment they stepped in, hastily retreating with pale faces, as though they had been wounded. Wang Lin, holding the jade slip that Xizifeng had given him, glanced at the distant Xizifeng, who was blushing and too shy to meet his gaze. He sighed inwardly. With just a sweep of his divine sense, he immediately knew that the jade slip could resist a tremendous amount of thunder power. Clearly, it was an important treasure for self-defense that this woman carried. In silence, he placed the jade slip into his chest and stepped into the thunder pool. Though Xizifeng kept her head lowered, she could still catch sight of Wang Lin's actions from the corner of her eye. When she saw him put the jade slip into his chest, her heart immediately raced. At that moment, however, she failed to notice that her cousin, the handsome young man in the green robe, had cast a gaze filled with deeply hidden hostility toward Wang Lin after stepping into the thunder pool. Wang Lin remained calm as he walked into the thunder pool. The moment his right foot touched the water, a massive thunder force surged into his body, sending a rush of refreshing energy through him, as if this place were his home. However, his outward expression remained unchanged. As he walked forward, the thunder light in the pool flickered around his body, rumbling like thunder. Finding an open spot, Wang Lin sat cross-legged. The second trial begins. The beat of the drum measures the breath. Yanlazi's voice echoed. Instantly, 2 Thunder Immortal Palace emissaries shot toward the sky like comets. Upon nearing, black light flashed between them, and a large drum appeared out of thin air. Boom! The deep sound of the drum reverberated throughout the heavens and earth. Under its vast resonance, it seemed to replace the thunder, and each drumbeat marked one breath. Within the 1,000 zhang thunder pool, nearly 200 cultivators sat cross-legged. With the echo of the first drumbeat, the thunder light in the pool seemed to shake and immediately rose by 3 inches. The thunder roared fiercely, forming a storm of thunder that raged across the pool. Amid this storm, thunder spirits formed from the gathered thunder light, circulating through the space, emanating an indescribable aura of thunder might that spread over 1,000 zhang, causing an immense shift in the power of the thunder pool. Countless bolts of thunder flashed and furiously entered the cultivators' bodies. Some of the cultivators meditated to resist the power, while others took out defensive treasures. For a moment, the entire thunder pool shone brightly. Su Ting was surrounded by black mist, blocking the intrusion of the thunder power, while other cultivators had their own ways to resist. Wang Lin sat cross-legged, his body surrounded by roaring thunder, a torrent of thunder energy flowing into him, nourishing his primordial spirit. The damage he had sustained in his battle with Luo Su was rapidly healing. This sensation was incredibly comfortable. At this moment, he closed his eyes and did not spare a glance at anyone around him. Boom! The second drumbeat rang out, and instantly, the power of the thunder pool grew denser. As the thunder spirit roared, massive thunderbolts lashed out like whips, striking the cultivators. Each strike caused the affected cultivator to tremble violently. The drumbeats continued, the third, the fourth, up until the 10th, after which the thunder power in the 1,000 zhang pool reached an earth-shattering intensity. The thunderbolts rose by 3 more feet, completely filling the pool. At that moment, a cultivator from the southern Luo heaven domain, pale-faced, spurted a mouthful of blood. His body seemed to be struck by an enormous force, and with a burst of thunderlight, he was thrown out of the pool, blood splattering as he was injured. The black mist surrounding Su Ting thickened, seemingly insulating him from the thunder. His expression remained unchanged, his gaze fixed firmly on Wang Lin from afar. He had been watching Wang Lin for a long time, and what he saw after the latter entered the thunder pool struck him as odd. This Sumu doesn't resist at all, nor does he activate any treasures. He's just calmly sitting there, as if this place were his secluded meditation spot. What's more, when this enormous thunder power enters his body, it disappears. Su Ting's mind raced with increasing unease, and he couldn't help but speculate, though he could never guess the true reason. Above, one of the 2 Thunder Immortal Palace emissaries swung his right hand, striking the black drum. Immediately, the 11th drumbeat resounded in a mighty rumble. Within the 1,000 thunder pool, all the thunder trembled and suddenly gathered in one direction. In an instant, it formed a massive serpentine creature, 100 zhang long. This creature resembled a snake but had the form of a dragon. Made of thunder, it exuded a terrifying aura of celestial thunder might. It was the Thunder Spirit. Roar. The Thunder Spirit materialized, and immediately, a deafening roar echoed out. The sound reverberated, transforming into thunderous rumbles as if from ancient times, shaking the heavens and the earth, rattling the hearts and minds of all the cultivators. Even Su Ting, with the dark mist swirling around his body, was nearly shattered at that moment. A flicker of shock appeared in his eyes, and with a swift gesture, more mist emanated from his brow, surrounding him. If Su Ting was affected like this, one can only imagine the impact on the other cultivators. At the sound of the earth-shattering roar, over 10 cultivators immediately spat out blood, their bodies thrown out violently. With the 12th, 13th, and 14th resounding drumbeats, the Thunder Spirit's roar grew even fiercer. Finally, with the 15th drumbeat ringing out, the Thunder Spirit shot forward, its massive form opening wide to unleash a torrent of thunderous light into the sky above the 1,000-foot thunder pool. The thunderous noise caused the very sky and earth to tremble. Cultivators watching from the surrounding area looked on with slight changes in their expressions. Even though they were distant, they could still feel the overwhelming celestial pressure contained within each roar of the Thunder Spirit, an undeniable, irresistible force. As this pressure reached its peak when the Thunder Spirit unleashed its thunderous light, dozens of cultivators were sent vomiting blood, their bodies violently thrown out, their eyes wide with terror, almost to the point of sheer panic. Xun'er struggled desperately, recalling the limits he had once reached in his youth, the 15th breath, but there was a force inside him now that pushed him forward, allowing him to endure. Zhang Konglai took a deep breath, gritting his teeth and holding firm. Even the six-fingered cultivator and the big-headed boy were not exempt, though it was clear they hadn't used their full strength, remaining somewhat relaxed. Still, the ease they felt was nothing compared to the situation of Wang Lin. Sitting cross-legged, Wang Lin absorbed the vast thunderous light into his body, which nourished his essence spirit. The damage he had previously sustained quickly healed in those few moments. Not only that, but even the hidden dangers from his battle with Yu Bingyun years ago were completely erased. As for the Thunder Spirit's roar and thunderous might, it felt as if a child were shouting at him. Though this feeling seemed strange, it was undeniable. He felt exactly like this. Despite the Thunder Spirit being incredibly powerful in the eyes of many, to Wang Lin, it was nothing more than a child, or more accurately, a young one evolving toward a thunder dragon. Wang Lin's expression remained calm. He ignored everything around him, closing his eyes as he quietly absorbed the thunderous power, steadily strengthening the essence spirit of the primordial thunder dragon. Once the 15th drumbeat faded, the Thunder Spirit seemed to have broken free of its constraints. With another roar, its massive form swept a wave of thunderous light, immediately knocking over a dozen cultivators, their faces pale as they were hurled away. The Thunder Spirit seemed to be thoroughly pleased. With another roar, it swept its body again, this time, including Wang Lin within its path. As the Thunder Spirit's massive form approached, Wang Lin suddenly opened his eyes and stared coldly at the creature. His gaze was like that of an adult staring at a child who was playing recklessly. The sweeping force came to an immediate halt, and the Thunder Spirit's body was forced to recoil. It was as if some invisible force had struck it, compelling it to retreat. Wang Lin closed his eyes again, not bothering with the Thunder Spirit. He vaguely sensed that this was merely a fragment of the Thunder Soul. The real guardian Thunder Spirit of the Thunder Immortal realm would never behave this way. The Thunder Spirit's body recoiled, its eyes wide with shock. Its intelligence had long been awakened, and it had initially dismissed the cultivators around it. However, in that fleeting moment, it felt as though it had encountered its ancestors. This sensation was ingrained in its Thunder Soul, passed down through countless generations, from the moment of its birth. In ancient times, the path of heaven granted the Thunder Dragon the power to wield thunder, and thus, the Thunder Dragon was born. It was born from thunder, the spirit of all thunder, and every bolt of lightning in the world belonged to it. However, the Thunder Dragon was not immortal. Born of thunder, it would also die by thunder, transforming into Thunder Spirit, returning to the void of the world, and once again becoming part of the force of thunder. But in the Thunder Immortal realm, there existed a Thunder Spirit that had not been dissipated, for some unknown reason. Instead, it had become the guardian beast of the realm, a protector of the Thunder Immortal realm. The Thunder Spirit of the Thunder Immortal Palace was one such being that had separated from the immortal realm. Upon encountering Wang Lin, it was immediately overwhelmed by a shock it had never felt before. Fortunately, once Wang Lin closed his eyes, the majesty of the primordial thunder dragon stopped radiating outward, and he began absorbing the thunderous light. This caused the thunder spirit to relax slightly, though it still seethed with an unexplainable anger as it turned its roar toward the other cultivators. Su Ting, hidden within the black mist, watched this scene unfold with his sharp gaze. His mind was shaken to its core, and he could hardly believe what his eyes had just witnessed. To him, Sumu was truly unbelievable. This can't be. He just looked at the thunder spirit for a moment, and it was actually afraid. And the way it reacted, it was as if it were a younger member of a family seeing its ancestor. The one who also witnessed this scene was Xun'er. His eyes revealed a fervent reverence, and his mind involuntarily recalled the first time he met Wang Lin, which was in a thunder prison. He would never forget the figure that emerged from the thunder prison, with black hair billowing in the thunderous winds, and eyes that seemed to shatter him with their gaze. This was a moment he would never forget for the rest of his life. Lord. Xun'er's fervor was palpable, intense. Zhang Konglai sucked in a breath, looking at Wang Lin, his thoughts drifting back to that battle in the thunder prison, when it was under Wang Lin's guidance that Xun'er seemed to grasp a certain rule of thunder. It wasn't just them. The surrounding cultivators, some of whom had noticed this scene, were all shaken, their eyes filled with astonishment. To all of this, Wang Lin remained oblivious. At this moment, he was cross-legged, once again probing the rules of thunder. His entire being gradually immersed in it, as though forgetting everything around him. 1,000 zhang away, on a meditation cushion, Qin Shui's eyes narrowed, and a faint smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Beside him, Yen Lazy froze for a moment, then bitterly smiled. He silently thought, I forgot that Sumu almost became a thunder spirit without my help. For him, this earthly trial may be no more difficult than strolling through his own garden. Forget it, let it be a compensation for his thunder beast, and a way to patch up the previous misunderstandings with Qin Shui. Yen Lazy shook his head with a wry smile but did not intervene. Meanwhile, the thunder dragon, frightened by Wang Lin, angrily raged, like a naughty child venting his frustration at others after being scolded by an elder. It roared and charged toward the other cultivators around. The first target was Shizi Feng's cousin, a handsome young man in green robes. He formed hand seals, and 3 cyan jade slips floated before him. As the lightning descended upon him, it was all absorbed by these jade slips. In the midst of the thunder spirit's roar, it collided directly with him. The deafening thunderclap reverberated as the lightning power exploded outward. The young man in green turned pale, trying to retreat but gritted his teeth, bracing for the impact. In an instant, the thunder spirit, towering over 100 zhang, slammed into the young man's front, creating a thunderous explosion that sent shockwaves through the entire thunder pool. The 3 jade slips immediately shattered with a loud crack, turning into countless shards. The young man in green spat out a mouthful of blood and swiftly retreated. But the thunder spirit, now agitated, did not let up. Like a mischievous child, it pursued him, its gaping mouth filled with endless thunder. The young man in green was quick, and he immediately fled from the thunder pool, his face darkening as he glared at the thunder spirit. The thunder spirit whipped its body and charged toward the next target. The drumbeats in the sky echoed, the 16th, 17th, and as the 18th drumbeat sounded, the thunder spirit, in its frenzy, expelled most of the cultivators still in the thunder pool. With each roar, the thunder spirit moved again, and this time, it was Xun'er and Zhang Konglai. The two of them smiled wryly and immediately moved away, keeping their distance from the rampaging thunder spirit. Even the large-headed boy and the 6-fingered cultivator, upon hearing the 19th drumbeat, quickly withdrew, unwilling to provoke the clearly agitated thunder spirit. At this moment, only 2 people remained in the 1,000 zhang thunder pool. Around Su Ting's body, the black mist was extremely dense. Within a 3 zhang radius, the fog nearly filled the entire area, blocking the incoming thunderbolts. 100 zhang away, Wang Lin sat cross-legged in the thunder pool, his eyes closed. Thunderbolts swirled around his body, causing his long hair to sway, giving him the appearance of a thunder immortal. Su Ting, in his heart, quietly cursed. The surrounding thunder power was growing increasingly intense, and even he felt the strain. But when he looked at Wang Lin, a feeling of deep frustration filled him. How can he endure for so long? I'm barely hanging on, but he seems so at ease, without the slightest discomfort. I can't accept this. Su Ting's face twisted in rage, his brow darkened with black mist. The Thunder Spirit suddenly turned, no longer daring to approach Wang Lin, but instead focusing on Su Ting. With a low growl, it charged toward him. As its massive body swam through the air, the entire thunder pool erupted in a blaze of lightning, which infused into the Thunder Spirit's body, filling it with an ancient power of thunder. The Thunder Spirit opened its mouth wide and swallowed directly toward Su Ting. The black mist around Su Ting's body immediately began to dissipate wildly. His face turned pale, and he was forced to retreat. With a single leap, he shot out of the thunder pool, over 10 zhang away. I can't accept this. Sumu must be cheating. Su Ting roared as he landed outside the thunder pool. The Thunder Spirit glanced at Su Ting, its body moved, and it turned to look at Wang Lin, a puzzled light flickering in its eyes. However, it still growled lowly, unwilling to approach. It always felt that there was an aura on Wang Lin's body that made it tremble in fear. Wang Lin opened his eyes. In the instant his eyes opened and closed, 2 bolts of thunder shot out from his pupils with a loud boom. He stood up, pondered for a moment, and then, under the gaze of everyone around him, walked toward the center of the thunder pool. While meditating earlier, he had vaguely felt as if he had grasped something. Now, as he reached the center, he immediately sat down cross-legged and closed his eyes, entering a deep meditative state. This scene left the surrounding cultivators stunned, their eyes wide in shock. Sumu isn't affected by the thunder at all, and he's so calm. What kind of cultivation technique is he practicing? The Thunder Spirit seems to be extremely wary of Sumu. There's something strange about this. Sumu is definitely not simple. Su Ting took a deep breath, watching for a long while before turning and leaving. He finally understood that the earthly trial was fundamentally different for Sumu than it was for him. The drumming from the sky never ceased, and amid the booming sounds, Wang Lin remained still. The Thunder Spirit circled around him, gradually growing fiercer. A surge of energy from the Thunder Soul urged it, making it feel an uncontrollable urge to devour Sumu. This feeling intensified, soon consuming all its thoughts. Devour him, and you can transform into a Thunder Dragon. It was as though a voice was shouting in its soul, roaring with overwhelming greed. This greed caused the Thunder Spirit to tremble. It continued to growl, and all the thunder in the vast thunder pool began to rush toward its body, condensing around it. Its roars became more intense, and in the end, with a furious cry, the Thunder Spirit launched itself out of the thunder pool. As it moved, all the thunder within the 1,000-foot thunder pool erupted in a continuous series of deafening roars, and the ground of the 1,000-foot stone surface cracked open in an instant. Roar! The snake-like Thunder Spirit surged forward, filled with boundless greed and a resolve to transform into a dragon, charging toward Wang Lin. With this charge, it seemed as if the entire thunder pool was being lifted. The shockwave from its movement was unimaginable, and it reached Wang Lin in an instant. In that moment, a flash of thunder light appeared between Wang Lin's brows, and suddenly, the primordial Thunder Dragon's essence soul left his body. The primordial Thunder Dragon was the embodiment of all thunder in the world. Although Wang Lin hadn't fully merged with it, even this partial integration granted him immense power. Once fully merged, all the thunderous forces would be at his command. When the primordial Thunder Dragon manifested, the moment it charged out, the Thunder Spirit trembled violently. A pressure emanating from Wang Lin's essence soul struck it, and it felt a deep sense of weakness. The ancestral aura it sensed made it tremble and lack the courage to resist. But within its soul, the roaring voice grew even louder. Devour him, and you will become a Thunder Dragon. The clash between the primordial Thunder Dragon and the Thunder Spirit immediately caused the thunder pool to erupt in a massive wave of thunderous light, creating an unprecedented explosion of sound and force. Wang Lin's essence soul, transformed into the primordial Thunder Dragon, entangled with the Thunder Spirit, constantly devouring each other. The Thunder Spirit was powerful, but it was incomplete, while Wang Lin's Thunder Dragon was strong, albeit not fully fused. This battle of devouring was evenly matched. With a roar, Wang Lin's primordial Thunder Dragon swallowed half of the Thunder Spirit's body. The Thunder Spirit struggled, its body crackling with thunder as it tried to counterattack, but Wang Lin's Thunder Dragon remained relentless, opening its mouth to devour again. Wang Lin's essence soul possessed the ability to devour souls, and after merging with the primordial Thunder Dragon, this ability was even more potent. Coupled with his ruthless cultivation over 1,000 years, he harbored a fierce determination, and a dark flame spread through his mind. As he continued devouring, he swallowed half of the Thunder Spirit's body entirely, crushing it completely. With a cry of pain, the Thunder Spirit retreated, leaving only half of its body behind. Its eyes gleamed with madness as it let out a furious roar. Immediately, more intense thunder rose from the thunder pool, as if a vast amount of thunder energy was contained beneath the 1,000-foot stone surface. The roar of the thunder spirit turned into a terrifying thunderstorm, each impact shaking the very heavens, and with each collision, the shock waves grew stronger, creating a ferocious storm that swept outward. A large section of the stone surface shattered, sending debris flying into the air. However, the moment the dust rose, it was immediately dispersed by the thunder. Even the shattered stone was soon enveloped in lightning, crumbling to pieces in an instant. Almost in the blink of an eye, all the green stones within 1,000 zhang, except for the one where Wang Lin was sitting cross-legged, shattered completely. Yet, the storm did not pause for a moment. It surged outward once more with a thunderous impact. During this process, an enormous power of thunder hidden deep underground erupted completely, heading straight for the thunder spirit. At this moment, it was as though the heavenly tribulation had descended upon the Thunder Immortal Palace. The surrounding cultivators' expressions changed drastically, retreating one after another. Even the elders of several families, their eyes gleaming, were visibly startled. As the storm exploded outward, the dozen or so ancient monsters sitting on meditation cushions over 1,000 zhang away fixed their eyes on the scene. Yun'er, with a bitter smile, raised his right hand and pressed downward. Instantly, the raging storm collided with a massive force, emitting a deafening roar before dissipating at a distance of 1,000 zhang. In that instant, as the endless power of thunder surged from the ground toward the thunder spirit, the primordial thunder dragon, which had been formed from Wang Lin's divine soul, devoured half of the thunder spirit's body. Yet, an unprecedented impulse surged within him. This feeling, something Wang Lin had never experienced before, became impossible to resist. It felt as though a force was about to burst from his body, causing him to roar toward the sky. This roar was the first thunderous roar since Wang Lin transformed into the primordial thunder dragon, and it was the first of its kind. As it resonated, it seemed to penetrate the Thunder Immortal Palace, merging with the heavens and earth, becoming a thunderclap that would forever echo throughout the universe. At that moment, the sound was the voice of all thunder in the world. Every thunder obeyed its command. The reason the primordial thunder dragon could command the power of thunder was due to this roar. Wang Lin had previously devoured the thunder dragon but had not fully fused with it, unable to unleash the full power of the thunderstorm that the thunder dragon commanded. But now, after absorbing half of the thunder spirit, he had finally summoned this roar. Roar. As the sound reverberated, the wind and clouds changed color, and the vast thunder spreading from the ground toward the thunder spirit trembled as it abruptly changed direction, as though bowing before the primordial thunder dragon formed by Wang Lin's divine soul. The surrounding cultivators, their faces transformed in complete shock, stared in disbelief. Even the ancient monsters on the meditation cushions revealed expressions of awe. Even the blood god's son had his eyes flashing with a cold light. For the first time, Qing Shui let out a long laugh and said, "Good." Yun'er's eyes showed shock. Veins popped on his face as he tried to stand up to stop it, but after a moment's hesitation, he sighed inwardly. With Qing Shui present, he could only watch as Wang Lin devoured the thunder spirit. He had no reason to interfere. If he did, he would be preventing Su Mu from gaining a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and Qing Shui would surely turn hostile. The ancient monsters were already so shocked, let alone others. Su Ting stood frozen, staring at the scene in disbelief, his heart stirred like an ocean. He fell silent. He should not be provoked unless absolutely necessary. Shen Gonghu's eyes gleamed with excitement, his passion no longer hidden. He stared at Wang Lin, his fervor growing stronger. Zhang Konglai, too, was stunned, but for the first time, his eyes revealed a similar kind of fervent admiration, just like Shen Gonghu. As for the large-headed boy and the six-fingered cultivator, both were shaken to the core, their eyes filled with terror. They made up their minds that Su Mu was not someone to provoke lightly. This person had dared to devour the thunder spirit, and with a single roar, he commanded all the thunder in the thunder pool. Such divine power made their scalp tingle. Not only did the thunder within 1,000 zhang bow before Wang Lin, but even the thunder spirit itself trembled violently, as though forced to submit to him under the sound of his roar, unable to resist. This was the power of the primordial thunder dragon. Endless thunder and lightning merged into Wang Lin's divine soul. With a single surge, his divine soul swallowed the half-devoured thunder spirit. The thunder spirit, despite its power, did not dare resist, and Wang Lin consumed it entirely. Before, Wang Lin had only fused about 1/5 with the primordial thunder dragon. But now, after devouring the thunder spirit and absorbing the boundless thunder surrounding him, it was as though a storm erupted inside his divine soul. The fusion accelerated at an alarming rate, reaching almost half of the potential. The primordial thunder dragon's divine soul expanded, becoming 100 zhang in size, and a tremendous pressure enveloped the heavens and earth. His cold eyes scanned the surroundings, and as they returned to his body, the remaining thunder and 1,000 zhang all wildly contracted toward him, gathering around Wang Lin. With a deafening thunderclap, Wang Lin opened his eyes. Lightning crackled around his body, and a feeling of being able to control all the thunder in the world surged within him. Standing up, Wang Lin saw nothing but a wasteland within 1,000 zhang. There was no longer a trace of thunder left. Yin Lazy's face was extremely grim, his heart aching inexplicably as he gazed at Wang Lin. He was at a loss for words for a long while before finally letting out a deep sigh. The surroundings were completely silent. This silence was identical to the one when Qin Shui killed Luo Su.